I wonder for a change of pace, I should just have the audio just at completely different times.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, it'd be like a little game for the audience. Hey, guess where the audio is actually supposed to go.
Either that or they completely like overlap. Like I feel like the general like trend in a conversation really is for like one person goes and then the other, but this time it's like we both talk and then there's silence and then we both talk again.
That would be beautiful, and it would be even funnier if it actually turned out even better than how the actual podcast sounds.
Well, I think it would get the audience, a little more engaged. They need to actually, they need to listen once for one person, and then they need to listen again for the other person, because there's no way they're making out both of us at the same time.
Well, I mean, some of those super hearing people may be able to do that, but are they in our audience?
Yeah, some of those people with one of the world's shittiest superpowers.
I don't know. Like hearing high frequencies and being able to hear more than two people at once or more people in a conversation at once, I think that'd be pretty useful in a lot of situations.
Well, that's the thing, is that even the shitty superpowers are still kind of useful. It'd be kind of difficult to have a superpower that's not at all useful for anything.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm talking about superheroes. I gotta bring this up. Let me see. Like in My Hero Academia, you know what that is, right?
I do know that anime.
Have you seen the anime?
I have seen like an episode of the anime.
Cool. You should see more of the anime and read the manga too. Not really, but I recommend it. Anyway, there's like just such a wide variety of superpowers in there, and some of them seem useless. Like there's one guy who's like the punching bag of the entire show, and everyone hates him. His superpower is he has these sticky balls that he can attach to things, and they grow back on his head. But if he does it too much, he bleeds.
Well, that seems like a bad thing to see.
You'd be surprised. There's actually some pretty clever uses for that the show incorporates, but...
No, that seems disgusting and awful, and I hate it.
Just like the character himself.
Oh, that's sad. He doesn't have much going for him then, does he?
Not so far, at least, and probably not in the future. But anyway... let's make a hard right back to what we should actually be talking about today. So welcome back to another episode of the Everything But Music podcast, folks. I'm the Crazy Even, and this is Cam Says Cam. He says Cam a lot.
Cam!
Yes, see?
Cam!
He's fulfilling the position already. I knew he was the best pick for a co-host.
Sorry, that was me being quiet because I was drinking some delicious Mio Energy. I just want to drop a brand name in there and just let it know this show is at least 50% powered by Mio Energy. Copyright, trademark. I think that's Pepsi. I don't know.
Our microphones are powered by them. The Skype service is also powered by them.
I'm double checking. No, it's a Kraft Foods thing. Okay.
Kraft.
From the creators of ketchup. You get that.
I think I do. I feel like I should.
They invented the tomato. You might know them from that.
I think I said in the last podcast, if anyone remembers that. I think that was such a long time ago. I think we agreed that we were going to do another Scooby commentary, because Scooby-Doo, it's kind of our thing. Like, I like Scooby-Doo. You like Scooby-Doo. We all do.
I very much like Scooby-Doo. I would say more than is healthy for most people.
Yeah, and personally, I think you need to showcase that a little bit more in the future on your channel. But that's just
wow, nudge, nudge.
But yeah, so we originally agreed on doing a commentary of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is arguably the best direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie there is.
It's also scary.
It's surprisingly spooky. I prefer Cyber Chase though. Anyway.
That was a good PBS show.
Yes. Shut up.
With Gilbert Godfrey as a math bird. Continue.
Man. But something interesting happened within the past couple months or so that kind of changed the topic for today's episode. Would you like to inform the audience? They already know what it is, but would you like to inform the audience what that particular thing was, Cam?
What is this? A crossover episode? It was a crossover episode. Supernatural did a Scooby-Doo crossover episode, but it's not really a crossover episode because it's not really like a crossover with another show in particular. It's like a crossover with a franchise in general. Because crossover does feel a little bit like a weird term for this, because it's not crossing over with the current Scooby-Doo show.
Yeah, this isn't like the Steven Universe and Uncle Grandpa crossover, which they said is not canon.
Oh, is that not canon? That's sad.
Yeah, they literally say in the episode itself, it's not canon. Although it kind of, sort of, it was complicated. But, yeah, this was a weird thing, because I thought it was just going to be some other direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie, like they've been doing recently with WWE.
That is really fun. And I feel like that could have been fun for this. But no, it's an actual, like, episode of another television program.
Yeah, and they just decided to incorporate Scooby-Doo in a very, very large manner, specifically by having, I would say, 70% of it being animated.
Yeah, that's about right.
In the modern Scooby-Doo style, which, it's like the smooth kind that the recent direct-to-video movies have been doing.
Yeah, it's this weird, because that's the first thing I was wondering is what kind of animated style were they going to do, and they are doing like the more recent direct-to-video style, which is like similar to Mystery Incorporated, but not as good at all.
Yeah, I thought Mystery Incorporated was a lot more like angled and lined.
Oh, it's a lot better, but yeah. It's clearly like a little influenced by that.
In that it's more modernized than it is.
Yeah, but still like definitely just straight up the old like 60s kind of character designs, which is pretty much usually determined by how Velma looks. All the rest of them pretty much look the same, no matter what like iteration you're going with. Eventually, they just decided that Velma's hair was like, no, that can't be that can't be a 2000s.
God, yeah, she looks like she has an afro here, like she did in the old show, and in Mystery Incorporated, she had more detailed hair. It wasn't just kind of round.
It was a lot less of like a old granny haircut.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, she looked cute in that show. She looked very cute.
Oh, she's very cute.
Yeah.
In Mystery Incorporated, and that's one thing is that she's not cute in this one, but she in Scoobynatural, but she is weirdly horny. I don't know if I like horny Velma. I don't know how I felt about that.
Well, did you like horny Velma in Mystery Incorporated?
Well, she was like a different kind of horny, and it was a lot like less creepy. Like in this, it was a little weird, but in Mystery Incorporated, it was like, okay, she's got a crush on Shaggy, and Shaggy is too busy with his dog.
That's still very pathetic.
It is 100% pathetic. It still gave us the greatest line in animated history with Scooby going, "Were you cheating on me, Shaggy?" And that was great. That was just fantastic. That's a 10 out of 10 for everyone involved.
I actually do remember that line, because like I said, I think I've maybe seen most of the first season, but not the rest of it. I know like some of the major plot points, but just not how it ends, which, I mean, God, like how much you and Josh have told me, it just seems like I shouldn't have my expectations that high, but it seems pretty dope.
No, that's the thing is that the ending is stupid. It's really dumb, but you know, it's fun and it's fitting for the show. But like the 2 episodes leading up to the final episode are like 2 of the best episodes of the series. But what I wanted to bring up really quickly before we delve into this is that I've seen the Scooby asking Shaggy if you're cheating on me scene like circulated around the interwebs a little bit. I still think that in the exact same exchange, That's not even the best quote. The quote that people don't see that comes like right after that is Scooby telling Shaggy to choke on it. And that is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, gee. Okay, I actually don't remember that part. I really do gotta watch this show
that
again.
entire scene is just so absolutely ridiculous. It is one of the best parts of the show, even though that whole like love conflict triangle thing is probably the weakest part of the show.
It did feel kind of dumb.
It's kind of dumb at a lot of different points.
Yeah, dumb on premise and dumb on execution, but whatever. It was interesting that they kind of played with that a little bit, but
it's a good show. None of which they do in Scoobynatural. I was wondering if they would incorporate any of that kind of development to it, and they do not. Well, they do. Well, you can go ahead and kind of. Do you know anything about Supernatural? Is what I was wondering.
This was my first hands-on experience with Supernatural, and honestly, before the show started, I had thought it was like one of those kind of shows where they go to a place that they think is haunted, and they try to get footage of it being haunted, and it either is or isn't, and they have people there that do all the haunted things there, like one of those fake-ass ghost shows, like like ghost stories, like your thing.
Oh, wait, no, okay, now I'm confused, because you're talking about, like, Ghost Adventures?
Yeah, or, sorry.
All right, first of all, how fucking dare you insinuate that Ghost Adventures is fake? Ghost Adventures is, once again, in case you're not aware of my stance on this, the greatest show on television. But yes, that is actually kind of funny, because that almost does kind of seem like what it is.
Yeah, but instead I learned it's like one of the longest running fantasy television shows in the U.S. history.
It's a little bit like I think it's kind of like a little Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of thing.
Yeah,
where it's just these two boys, and I think that they're supposed to be hot and very attractive, is what I'm led to believe. I don't really see that, but and they're bros, and they hunt down all kinds of paranormal demons and things that are out to get them.
Yeah, it's there were some shows on Cartoon Network, like when they did that whole reality thing, that kind of sort of reminded me of, like, when watching Supernatural, it reminded me of that. There was this one show in particular that was actually somewhat decent. It was kind of sort of Indiana Jones-ish, and there were some supernatural elements to it. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember.
Was it an animated show, or
no? It was when
one of those live action ones. I don't remember too many of those live. I remember the two I remember is the baby ghost hunting show. That one was pretty fun. I like that one, but also the one where Andrew WK recruits children to blow shit up.
Yeah. I never heard of him before that, and I just thought it was just some.
I hadn't either, and I thought I was with you. I thought it was some strange man who they found who was very passionate about having children destroy things, and then build them and then destroy them again.
Yeah, little did we know. Let me see. What was it called? Unnatural History. That's what it was called.
Unnatural History.
Yeah, it lasted a single season, and
you don't say.
Yeah, it starred what's this guy's name? Kevin Schmidt, who was in Cheaper by the Dozen.
Wow. How did that not last? With enough creative energy.
Yeah,
to call it Unnatural History.
I do remember. You remember Fred from when they did the awful TV Scooby-Doo movies, that guy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
He's very annoying.
Yeah, I think he was in the show, like, for maybe an episode or two. He played like a bully or something.
Oh, well, it's a Canadian. I just Googled Unnatural History, and it's a Canadian, like, live-action children's show. Mm-hmm. So that's how you know it's really good. Also, the first sentence of the description is Henry Griffin is not your ordinary teenager. Well, that's fucking weird, because he has the most ordinary ass name I've ever heard in my entire life. His name is Henry Griffin. This sounds pretty ordinary, but anyway, But no, I did know a little bit about Supernatural. My sister is a big fan of the show.
Oh.
And basically my understanding was the basic premise that that's what they do. They hunt the supernatural things. Also, though, I'm aware from her that, especially in these later seasons, it's a show that doesn't take itself all that seriously. Like, I think they mentioned in the actual, like, in the episode, like, they've been, like, sucked into the TV before. And it was like if you recall the episode of Fairly Odd Parents where they, flip through all the channels, that kind of plot.
Yeah, that was the TV movie. Or movie, something like that.
Oh, that was a movie? That was a movie? Dang.
Yeah, that was yeah.
They, and there's, like, the fans are so crazy that they've, like, written episodes that are basically, like, inserts for talking about the series. Like, oh, now Sam and Dean have these crazy fans because someone wrote a book about them, and the fans of Sam and Dean are clearly just stand-ins for fans of Supernatural and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that, like, in the show, Sam and Dean have been, like, presented with, like, smut fiction about them, and that's a pretty good development. So it's that kind of show. So that's why it's a little bit less. If you're wondering, like, how did they just make an episode that's Scooby-Doo and none of the viewers thought it was weird? I guess that's kind of why.
Yeah. Like I said, this is my first experience with the show, and seeing the episode itself and kind of getting a vibe at how it works, it's probably not something I would return to.
It's probably not what you would call good.
Yeah. I can see why it's lasted this long, and I can see the premise is interesting, at least, but but we're gonna delve deeper into that as the podcast goes on. Did you have any additional thoughts on Supernatural, the show?
I mean, not basically. This is the first full episode of the show that I've watched. That was like the minimal, like, background knowledge that I have.
Right. Okay. All right, so in that case, let's get on to the episode itself. I would say, I guess, if we're going to go with the overall thoughts first, I liked it.
It's a fun little thing.
Yeah, it was fun. Very, very fun. Yeah. Where do we go from here?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's good. If you liked it, then you should probably watch Mystery Incorporated.
Yes.
Because that's like 52 episodes of what that was, but less stupid. Like, I don't really know. The thing is, like, maybe it was, like, lost for me because I feel like part of it's like, whoa, that's a decapitated man in my Scooby-Doo cartoon. And I think you're supposed to be like, that's weird, but having watched Mystery Incorporated, there's significantly more fucked up shit in that. Maybe not, like, violence and gore, like, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're essentially reacting the way that the Scooby Gang reacted when seeing that dead body and the other dead body as well.
That was pretty fun. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting, like, holy shit, actual murder. But we didn't, it was so much more of like a, welp, this is, another occurrence that's happened here.
So I'm just, like, now imagining, have they seen dead bodies before like that? And
probably.
If so, have they reported them to the police? Or
the only immediate, time I can think of them, at least in, like, the original series, looking at, like, a dead body is there's the episode where there's a caveman,
right,
who's frozen in a big old block of ice.
I remember that one.
And they're like, well, it's the caveman. and he's not he's not actually dead, but I think the real caveman is dead. So that is a confirmed kill in the Scooby-verse.
The first and only casualty that we can only hope, at least.
I feel like, I mean, I'll give you a little spoiler right now. There's multiple casualties in Mystery Incorporated.
I can imagine.
That if you're looking for death, then you can go. There's some for you. What was I gonna say? I feel like I can give like maybe just a general overview of the plot, because they maybe gave a little bit more plot in this episode than I needed. It kind of became a bit of a downer there at the end.
Yeah. Oh boy. The episode itself is, I think it's like the 16th episode of the 13th season of Supernatural.
That's weirdly similar to how Wikipedia would phrase that.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. And the plot itself, it's very standalone should you make it, but apparently it's kind of coming off of the heels of the two boys and his friend's journey to get to the apocalypse world, I think.
Is that a thing? Apocalypse world is not, I think whoever proposed that at the Walt Disney Corporation is not maybe doing the best job.
I mean, Scooby-Doo is owned by Hanna-Barbera and the Warner Brothers, so
well, they don't have a fun Disney World. You can probably buy the rights to that. Hey, we're getting the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. You just wait.
Fuck yeah! I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be so good. But anyway, it starts with them like beating up a furry, and then they get a free TV. That's how the episode begins. They beat up a big old plush T-Rex, and then the guy's like, wow, you did a great job beating up that T-Rex here in my store. Have a free TV. And they're like, sweet. And then they take the TV home, and it sucks them into the Scooby-Doo world.
Specifically into the episode "A Night of Fright is No Delight," which is,
and this is what the thing that maybe most bothered me in the entire episode. Or it's like they get like, sucked into the thing, and their car is there, which is nice, I guess. And then they go to the malt shop, because that's where they hung out in the original show. Right. I do like that they had like the dance moves that they do from the original show.
Yeah.
There's like, I think, only one scene of them dancing in the original show, and they're doing very specific moves, and they like had them doing those, and that was fun. But here's my big issue with that is they really tried hard to be like, oh man, look, it's this episode of the show. It's like this episode. And one funny thing is that the latest series also has an episode, or the latest actual Scooby-Doo series also has an episode based on that episode of the original show.
Is that, what was that? Be Cool Scooby-Doo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Be Cool Scooby-Doo has an episode that's also based on A Night of Fright is No Delight. Which is, I think it's just because it's like a very easily, I don't want to, like, it's just a very, like, it's a nice little episode-y thing. Like, oh, they've got to stay a night in the place, and then, oh, what do you know? If they stay there, they get $1 million, but someone's trying to spook them out of there. Like, that's just a good episode. Like, that's just a solid-ass episode.
Yeah.
And it kind of stands out in the first season of the original series, because that is kind of like, it's not just, oh, it's a mystery. It's like, oh no, it's a contest. Like, that's kind of different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought it was noteworthy that like this is the second time that episode has been like referenced or recreated in the last like 2 years. Here's my big issue, is that so that episode is a good episode. And I think it's Sam. I can't tell the two white boys apart. They're the chain smokers. Yeah. And like, I think it's Sam, short-haired guy.
Right.
Let me hold on. Sam Supernatural. Which one is he? Nope, Sam is long hair. So Dean, short hair guy.
Yes.
Is he's a big fan of the series apparently. He's like, "Oh man, I know I love this episode." Like he makes a reference to like, "Oh, I know what's about to happen."
Right.
What the issue there is that there's one massive not thing in this rendition of that episode.
Right.
And that's that in the original series, the house is on an island.
Ah.
The house is on like just a tiny little island that's just the house. It's very dumb. Poor design for home. But that's a big difference, and no, it was never brought up. And that bothered me quite a bit. Because I saw that, I was like, nope, that's not how that went. They start the episode just driving a boat. I don't know why they have a boat, but they do have one. And they're reading the newspaper on their boat. And they did not include that in the episode. And I thought that was a darn shame.
They had the newspaper in the malt shop.
They do. And I did like the joke how there's no actual writing on the newspaper. I thought that was very fun. How Sam is like, "Oh, Dean, there's no words on this newspaper," because it's just like cartoon newspaper. It's like just little smudges around a bunch of pictures.
Who has time to make that shit?
That would be a colossal waste of time for animators. But yeah, that slightly bothered me. However, they also do get bonus points though, because at the end, like there's a point where I think Dean is giving them a little inspirational speech, and he lists like a bunch of monsters they've captured, and he is at least correct in so much as all the monsters he lists do appear in the series before the episode that they're supposedly in.
Huh. Interesting.
Now, granted, that's pretty easy because most of the like iconic ones are in the first season, and this was late in the first season. But still, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, considering I'm not as giant as a Scooby-Doo fan as you, I never picked up on that, so that never quite bothered me.
I mean, that one is just kind of random, but the island thing actually bothered me.
It's understandable. It's understandable, but
there was one other. I mean, honestly, there's one other slight issue I had, and it's that they played the theme song of the original series during the chase sequence.
Right.
And that's just all wrong. That's just, what is that?
Yeah, I thought it would.
It's pretty easy. Just play like a generic 60s.
Little that, tone. Or hell, even take one of the actual chase themes that I think that was exclusive to the second season, wasn't it? When they had the new intro. No.
Well, the second season of they had them originally in the first season.
Okay.
They just didn't have them for a while after that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can argue as much as semantics as you want, but I'll give it one thing: at least it didn't have a laugh track.
It did not have a laugh track. That would have been bad.
That would have been god awful. I would not have handled it.
And, you know, I guess it would have been a little big of an ask for them to include my boy in a meaningful way, but they gave Scrappy a little cameo. He, like, popped in when they were doing, like, the obligatory, like, door scene.
Yeah.
Like, when they're all running in and out of the various doors, like, at one point, Scrappy runs in and out of one. I'm like, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I must have missed that, but I trust you. I trust you. If your boy was in there, he was in there.
He was there. Trust me, I know when my boy's around.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so what it ends up being is just, as we've been hinting, it's just that specific episode, but these guys are in it. However, there's a little twist in that, well, there's actually a ghost of sorts, a spirit of sorts in this TV, trapped in this TV, playing in this episode, that is actually killing people, as opposed to the costume bastards that are just trying to scare the people away in order to get the $1 million money.
Yeah, because like in the real episode, everyone just kind of just they leave
Yeah.
because the ghost scared them too much. But in this one, they're stabbed for real.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's like, oh yeah, they did that. They certainly did that. Okay then.
Yeah, and then like kind of a lot of it is predicated on Sam and Dean, and then their friend Castiel,
Right.
who he rolls in. He, from what I understand, is like the true like heartthrob of this series. He's the real dreamboat, you might say.
Apparently he's an angel.
Yes, he is. He is, to my understanding, some kind of angel. He comes across like a very kind of a big grump, but I don't know. I guess that's part of his appeal.
Yeah.
He's like a sexy grump.
I don't know.
He is at the very least the most attractive person on the show. Or at least between the main three boys.
I guess. What about their animated versions?
I mean, none of them. They're all just kind of. I mean, you add. There's three of them now. So what are they, like Imagine Dragons now? They're just a bunch of white boys. I can't tell the difference between them. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Honestly, I think one of my biggest problems with this is that, well, I think it has to do with Supernatural itself. Like, whenever it switched back to the live action portions of the episode, it didn't click with me. I did not like it. It was very, very mediocre.
And luckily that wasn't too much of it. Like, It was mostly just the beginning and end.
Yeah.
But, like, it was certainly a lot less fun.
Yeah. And also the plot within the supernatural aspect of the show was overall kind of just dumb and very simple.
I mean, I did like that they're like, haha, in the end, it was a unscrupulous real estate developer. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. But other than that, there was not really a ton to be had as far as like the live action stuff.
Yeah. It just seemed I didn't care for the acting. The effects were trash. The
effects are really bad. I think that's just a thing with the show. I guess it just comes with it being like as old and not as old, but like as long running as it is. You can't invest that much money if you've got like a bajillion episodes.
And you're on the CW, which is like...
They are on the CW.
So,
keep in mind, this is the same network that has Gorilla City in fucking The Flash.
It's the network where a lot of trash goes, with a couple of exceptions here and there. But yeah, it's like B movie CBS.
That is a pretty decent descriptor of it. But yet it does have these shows that people seem to like a lot.
Yeah, they're popular for some reason, although I still do not care for their revival of Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's just not the same. Just not the same.
That sounds very depressing.
It is.
One thing that didn't bother me, but it didn't. The thing is, both of like the much more modern Scooby-Doo series are very, very funny and like very witty, and they know how to use kind of your general expectations for the franchise to be very funny. And this one didn't so much. It kind of had more of like the feeling of like which isn't bad, but like What's New Scooby-Doo, which was a little bit more of like, we're still just being like, hey, aren't these Scooby-Doo tropes so dumb and silly?
Yeah, that's where a lot of the humor kind of comes from. I mean, I would say a good amount of it it's pulled off well, but there are a couple of groan-worthy.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Like, and a lot of it's not bad, but I mean, like, the bits that are really funny are when they're like, oh, Scooby got the inheritance from this old guy he saved, and they're like, the old guy is dead, correct? And Fred is like, yeah, he had cancer. Like that was very funny. That made me laugh. I laughed at the dead man. I wish there was more of that.
That was my favorite line.
And they were like, can I just get a second here? There was also like the brief moment where like, you know, part of like the conflict of the episode is they don't want the gang to find out that, you know, this is a real ghost because it'll send them spiraling into like an existential crisis.
They kind of sort of do, and I love how I think, well, it kind of goes out the way you expected, like you'd expect. Daphne just kind of freaks out. She's wondering if she's going to go to hell or not.
That was what I was going to say, is that Daphne is like, if there's ghosts, there's an afterlife. Am I going to go to hell? And I'm like, wow, okay.
And
granted, didn't get that far from that in Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah.
They didn't so much come out and say it.
Yeah, and Scooby and Shaggy are, of course, like, pissed out of their mind. And Shaggy says frickin', as he did in the movies. I don't think that's in a specific callback, but that's what it felt like to me. That's what it felt like to me.
There's also a nice little moment where, like, you know, Shaggy falls and breaks his arm at one point. And he is like, I have jumped out of a plane and been fine. This is bad.
Oh, that was great.
I'm like, that's true. I'm trying to remember exactly when that happened.
I vaguely I can.
For some reason, I feel like it might have been one of the Batman ones, but I don't know for sure.
That would make sense. I vaguely remember.
Batman ones are really strong. Those are strong things that exist.
Yeah, and going back to the reactions, Velma is just. I think she's also pissed, but she's more so her logic was incredibly wrong, and now they're actually fucked. But my favorite, it has to be Fred, because he's just all like, you're telling me that we've been capturing these costume assholes for the past who knows how long, and while there are actual demons and vampires and werewolves creatures out there.
He's like, we could have been out there, you know, capturing real shit. Damn it. He's like literally like banging his head against a fucking tree. Oh, because he's so mad.
I love that. I love that so much.
That was pretty strong. That was like, see, because the thing is, like Mystery Incorporated has like a lovable meathead kind of Fred.
Yeah. And
that was a little bit of that I appreciated.
Yeah.
That, and I feel like one thing that's also really worth mentioning is that there's supposed to be like a running joke where, like, I mentioned it earlier, but Velma is just like super horny for Sam.
And Dean is super horny for Daphne.
But, you know, neither of those like come together. And there's one just almost really uncomfortable, like, frame of animation. Like, maybe I can screen grab it or you can screen grab it, of her, like, blushing. That's just really, I did not like to see.
What was that during?
They're, like, in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she, like, does, like, a hard blush, like, looking away from him. And I'm just like, oh, can we not?
Yeah,
this is, like, after Daphne is like, I thought, like, you know, like, big dumb guys were like your thing, and I'm like, no, we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I don't remember if that was in the middle.
It's really strong. I'll probably tweet it later just because I want to just bless a couple of timelines with some horny Velma.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely have to.
I recommend Google searching horny Velma.
I think you're gonna get a lot more results than just the one from Scoobynatural.
See what you know comes up for you.
I'm trying to find it. I think I did.
It's pretty good.
Oh, trying to. God damn.
It's a thing that I like to see.
Yeah, like I've only seen it once. I didn't go through it again before this podcast, but. This was probably a bad idea, but it like that sequence lasts like a minute, I think, if any.
That was like a pretty hefty little chunk.
Honestly, though, I like the facial expressions of these characters, especially the Scooby Gang. I honestly do like them. They're very
they weren't bad. It
yeah.
was like I said, it's a nice little animated. It's well animated.
Right.
It's not like a rush job.
Yeah.
I almost would have liked to, like, I don't know what, and I assume the animation team that works on all of the movies right now are the ones who animated this, but there was a nice little episode of Mystery Incorporated where they kind of did it a little more retro style.
Right.
For the animation. And that would have been kind of fun to see. But overall, like, it is nice.
Ha! Found it.
Oh my.
Shit. Alright, I gotta... Damn. Alright. I have two options here. I can either take a screen cap and edit it, or go to the snipping tool and just strategically time it, which I think I'm going to do. Yeah, I've solved the problem.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah, I found it. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't think it's that ugly. It looks fine.
Oh, it's not ugly. It's just like, okay, we're doing this. That's the thing.
There we go. All right. That helps. Yeah, I'm like... The line before, she's very attracted to Sam's shoulders.
The shoulders, and I don't. That's one thing that, that's not a feature that you gets too much respect. I'm sure there's some like shoulder lovers out there who are like, thank you, this is the representation that I've been looking for, but I don't know who they are.
Well, maybe it's because they'll be able to hold them at night.
I mean, shoulders are good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Better than elbows. That would have been really weird.
Yeah, I'm really attracted to your weenus. That's the skin between the elbows and you know what I mean. There it is. Is that what you wanted? Is that the hard blush?
That's 100% what I wanted. It's a little bit too pure. You know what I mean? It's got a little bit of like a weird anime kind of schoolgirl look to it, and I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. What's that Always Sunny like thing where fucking he's holding the picture and he's like, I don't like this painting. Its smug aura mocks me. That's kind of how I feel about this image. Yeah, it's giving me Danny DeVito feels, and I don't like having Danny DeVito feels.
But yeah, I mean, even teenagers within TV shows get a little flustered now and then. I mean, have you seen The Family Guy? Have you seen The American Dad?
I do not watch The Family Dad or The American Guy.
Have you even seen what is it? What's a show? What's a show that's kid friendly and but has teenagers in them? My life is a teenage robot.
Yeah, everyone's current favorite show. It's a good show. It's a good show.
That's actually a legit good show. I need to watch that too. I have so many shows I gotta watch. But yeah, I understand why that you would be a little. It seems this would be a little out of place, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it's fine. I think that like this is a sticking point throughout the entire episode. I love how just the entire Scooby Gang is just so oblivious to everything.
That is true.
That's the correct word, oblivious. That's what makes the episode for me. And it's especially true with the whole teen trying to track Daphne.
Yeah, that one, and she's just like not having it.
Yeah, I mean, it like not having it in that. Oh no, I don't want you. Get away from me, bitch. But in that, that's nice. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? What do you look for in a man? And she's like, an ascot. And I feel like there's no, like, what even is an ascot, and when has it been brought up outside the context of Fred from Scooby-Doo wearing one? Is there any, like, article of clothing that is so, like, exclusively linked with one character?
Well, it's a form of tie. It's not specifically an ascot that in name. It's an ascot tie. And according to my very, very well done research, it has been done since the early 19th century and is more than often not used in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe Fred Maybe Fred would be shipped out.
Oh God, that's the long game that Dean was trying to play, hoping to get him drafted over in the military.
I mean, I think he'd do pretty well at it.
That probably would. I mean, he'd trap the enemy real good. I was hoping the trap obsession from Mystery Incorporated would kind of venture its way over, because that never ceased to be funny.
I guess, but I found that kind of annoying.
Like that's fair.
I mean, I get that's one of his characteristics, and I like how you're trying to play that up. But sometimes it seems like it's taking over his entire character. So
I think that was the point, is that it is indeed.
I guess, but I don't know. They're more.
That's why it's fucking funny.
Yeah. Again, I need to watch the show again, so maybe I'll change my mind. But this is all from like opinions I've had for years.
But they do make the little jab where it's like, oh, his trap, he makes a really detailed trap, and then they're like, oh shit, it didn't work, and they're like, yeah, it never works.
Which is true. It never.
We got
does
a backup
work.
plan. Also, I like the thing about the book that's clearly not painted into the background. And he's like, oh, this book looks different. It's got to activate a trapdoor, because that was maybe the first time as a child when I was like, oh, like TV shows aren't real. When I was like, why does that book look a little, why does it just so happen the book they're going to touch looks a little different than the other books? And I'm like, I think they did that on purpose. I think people made this. I got a little skeptical, and I like that they gave that a little shout out.
And we got to talk about Scooby-Doo as well. Our boy, my boy at least, Scooby-Doo.
He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy, especially in this episode. He had a lot of real good lines. I remember him being sassy, very sassy at one point. I can't quite remember it though. It was a good line.
That's the thing. He's not quite as sassy as like you said again. He is in like the two more recent shows. They kind of really build up his sass. More recently, I'm also recalling like one specific moment where he had a pretty good line in there.
Yeah. Maybe if I had watched this before the podcast, so I hadn't had this issue.
He is basically there to be like especially wholesome, I would say.
Okay, I it's not it, but there was one part where they were all when the Scooby Gang were freaking out, and he just kind of states at the end, "We're doomed."
Oh yeah,
just like fuck it, it's over. Pack it up, guys. We're all dead. Make your graves right now, because we're all fucking.
Well, I was
dead.
a big fan of the moment where like Fred gets like legit thrown across the room and has a nosebleed.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was awesome. That was nice. I like that.
I'm like, that's a little disconcerting.
I think overall, the juxtaposition between the Scooby-Doo show and its traits, and Supernatural and its traits, they mesh very, very, very well. Even though the execution can be a little hit or miss, but this, like, honestly, this was a very, very good idea. Very, very.
That's
good
the thing
idea.
is that as soon as I heard it, I feel like a lot of people were like. And they almost kind of like sold it on this idea of like, whoa, what a crazy crossover.
Yeah.
And I was like immediately like, you know what? No, that makes sense. Like I totally get that, which is a good thing. Like I think, but I was like, you know what? No, that makes sense. This show is not so serious where it's going to be really weird and like off-putting, I think.
Except for the one part with the decapitated guy, and he also
that was a little. I feel like they missed an opportunity to make that scene a little funnier, honestly.
And also, his top and bottom half were completely separate. I don't know if you didn't notice that.
And they were just kind of like, they could have been like, oh fuck, this is disturbing for us. We don't see, like, the stabbed guy is kind of like, okay, I could see not being that upset, but like, no, it's a decapitated man. He has no head.
Oh man, I think they also missed an opportunity to let Scooby just like say shit or something like that.
I feel like they could have had one of them swear.
Oh, I mean,
they make a little joke where, like, I think like Dean says "son of a bitch" at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, that's fun. But it would have been really great to get, like, a good old fuck out of Scooby, maybe.
I mean, that's not quite appropriate for the when it was airing, but that would have been good. That would have been good. I would have.
I mean, we could have at least gotten a bitch.
Yeah.
Probably not a shit, but, maybe a damn it, even. A little Shadow the Hedgehog action.
Something like that.
Like, where are those damn Chaos Emeralds, Scoob?
Where's that damn ghost kid?
That would have been really good. I think every show, honestly, should have a "where's that damn" insert, relevant thing from show here.
Yeah. But I guess we should talk about how the episode ends as well.
Yeah, a bit of a downer, a little sad. I didn't like the feels that this had to try to elicit out of me.
Yeah, and it just kind of came out all of a sudden, like this kid, he died a long time ago.
They just like capture the ghost, and they're like, oh, it's actually a little ghost boy, a little ghost child.
Yeah. And it turns out that there was this one guy in the beginning who we didn't mention. He kind of came into the store, didn't really do anything, but actually he was doing something, because it turns out he was trying to get the guy who owned the store to sell the store off. And in order to do that, he had a lot of haunted items through what was it, like some chip or something?
I don't like. It was a pocket knife. Like, I think he like trapped the little boy's soul in like a pocket knife.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would make more sense if I was a viewer of Supernatural.
Oh, I did see some. I actually was looking up on the information webpage, and I did see something about a knife. I'm gonna look that up again. It's like some
he like kind of like slid it into like almost like a USB drive on the TV. It wasn't really clear how he executed that little maneuver.
Let me see here.
And that caused that to happen.
This probably isn't it. This is about a knife that apparently kills demons, and
it says this is a little Swiss Army situation.
Yeah, so this is the exact opposite of that. It possesses demons, not kills them.
That'd be sad.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yo, no big deal. Just, get us out of this TV and we'll light your little knife on fire and set you free and get the guy arrested for, like, tax evasion.
Yeah. And then by the end, in order to keep the Scooby gang from having their existential crisis be permanently damaging to their psyche, they just have it so that it ends how the original episode ended. It turns out it was the millionaire who wanted to keep it.
It wasn't the millionaire. Because remember, the millionaire has actual real cancer and is dead for real. It's they do make a good little joke about how obvious it is that, like, his, let's be honest here, like, man-slave is the guy responsible.
Right.
Because he's very, like, scary looking, and he kind of cackles a little bit. And it's like, yeah, he's the bad guy. He's trying to get the money. So they have the ghost. They're like, look, we need you to ghost yourself to look like the guy, and we'll say it's him.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that they didn't go too far and brought the two dead bodies back to life magically.
That they did not do, and that seems almost a little rude.
Like, that place is gonna stink in the next couple days. It
is. Also, those two men are dead for real again, real death, and that's just kind of tough luck on that.
Yeah, this is one of those alternate timeline scenarios where you have the original show where everyone survives and it was just some dumb ghost in a costume, and you have this one where two people are dead. People still think it was the dumb ghost in a costume, but actually, now that I think of it, that guy's gonna get charged for murder.
Probably real murder, yeah.
Yeah, like where was the actual butler in this whole sequence.
I guess in this one, I don't know if the ghost killed him or he just hadn't shown up to do his own little haunting yet.
Yeah. Like, how exactly are the police going to go about the situation?
How are they going to handle that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially if, the guy was still going to go through with his little plan, that would be kind of significant.
Yeah, especially considering that there are 2 dead bodies in there, and that's basically evidence of.
And
something.
He's like, "Oh no, I didn't kill those people at the house. I was too busy preparing to terrorize those people at the house." I feel like that's not going to be a very good alibi for you.
But it'll prevent him from being charged with murder. But in this case, he'll just be charged with. What crimes did they get charged with in the Scooby-Doo?
I don't know, maybe criminal mischief?
Yeah.
That seems pretty mischievous.
Yeah. They got like a little slap on the wrist, maybe a year or 2 of probation, some community service, and that's it.
And maybe one, little final thing that is true both in this one and the original episode is that, it turns out at the end, like, oh, so they make it through the night, so isn't Scooby going to get the money? And then it turns out it's all Confederate bills.
Oh yeah, that's
he's like
right.
He's like an old Southern guy,
oh,
so
man, that's right.
they're like, but the money's worthless. Except, excuse me, I've watched enough episodes of Pawn Stars. You can sell that to the Pawn Stars for a little bit of money,
or Antique Roadshow as well.
Like Confederate money you can sell, and it's a prized collector's item. In fact, I think that might be worth more in, antique sales value than it is in, money value.
It's not actual money that we could have at this very moment, so just set on fire.
And that's the thing is that, maybe in like the original show, I get why they didn't really clear that up. I feel like in the new show, like, you're going to have adults watching this. I feel like adults are going to know, like, wait a second, if I, like, hop on Google and I search up, Confederate money and I try to buy myself some, then I can, like, ooh, look, a $20 one for $60. Like, that's not, ooh, look at this. A nice little $10 bill for $4,000. I feel like maybe you jumped the gun on this one a little bit, gang. Just because you can't take it down to your local Wells Fargo and throw that in a little checkings account doesn't mean that, you just got to throw it in the fire.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, everyone is safe except for those 2 guys.
Dead. And the cancer man.
Yes, right. Can't forget about the cancer.
Although, however, we can, kind of assume that if the man had Confederate money, it's probably racist.
Yeah, probably, very high chance. Very.
If he hasn't, if that is like his own money that he owned at one point and was like, probably a little racist. Probably. Maybe Scooby shouldn't have saved him from the well. Cannot confirm. Highly likely.
So then the episode ends as you'd expect it. Let's see. Daphne gives Dean blue balls. Velma totally makes a move on Sam, and they go back and get the man who did this whole thing. They get him arrested, and he says the line, and that's pretty much it.
He says the line, but he says the line that, that's kind of like it's a thing that happened in the original show, but it wasn't like an every episode thing.
Yeah, but
that was more of like a little after the original.
Well, yeah, but it's something that you attribute to the Scooby-Doo.
That is true.
So...
And then it was kind of fun how he was like he does it and it does a little like circle wipe in on his face, and then like it just cuts back and Sam's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing the thing. That's how they end the episode." He's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah, and I think I forgot to mention this, but I do like the chemistry that Dean and Sam have. They've
got a lot of time to work that out.
Yeah.
I would hope that they've got some chemistry by now.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh no, I do know it. Like, because you are correct. They do.
Yeah, and
they are not funny, but they are like likable enough together
Yeah.
where it's not immediately annoying and apparent how not funny they are.
Yeah, and despite all of its faults, and despite how I'm never going to actually see it again, it does look like the people who made it, the people who are playing their roles in it, they look like they're having fun. I guess they do, even if they're not doing a very good job at it.
Yeah, they do definitely seem like they're having fun.
Yeah. I mean, especially if they've been doing this for, God, like 13 seasons, 13 years. I mean, they have to be having fun at some point.
I would hope. I mean, granted, they're probably making a decent amount of money, so...
Also, when do you think that Sam X Velma fanfiction is gonna come out, where Sam actually stays in this dimension?
Already, it's out. The reviews are in, and they are horny.
They are horny. Perfect. All right, so I think that will do. So do you have any additional thoughts on Scoobynatural, Cam?
Hold on, I'm typing Sam X Velma.
Oh my God, don't, please.
Ooh, there's a YouTube animation.
How recent is it?
Oh my God. This is like, someone did this in like a dang... They did this in like a fucking dang Nintendo DS style. This is really good.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's like...
What is it? Is it good or not?
No, it's terrible. And I hate it, and I love it. I'm sorry, I'm just really caught up in this little animated style. Someone took like a Picto chat and made it an animation.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is horrifying. What if Scoobynatural became a spin-off series?
This is really indicative of my understanding of the supernatural fandom, and
wow.
I really appreciate it.
Holy.
Like, this is really good. It says to be continued, too, so we can look forward to, like, more.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm playing the intro to that, because I paused it, and I'm going to watch the rest after we finish the podcast. But you should all go watch that yourself. Holy fucking shit. Oh,
just real quick. I legitimate appreciation to this beautiful human who made this, because I just want to say the description includes the great phrase, "Don't stop watching, guys. Don't stop loving cartoons. Don't stop watching Supernatural. Don't stop being you. We're a team." I'm gonna cry. I might cry a little bit. I didn't expect to be inspired by this.
What else this guy got? 11 subscribers and what's the most popular video?
Not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. They need more. Their most popular video is only 79 views. That's so sad.
This is fantastic.
Actually, if they were that proud of their videos, they probably wouldn't even care about the views. And yeah.
I'm gonna just say that they have a video here called Saved by God animation short film, and that is where I'm gonna just check out and let that slide.
Wow. I was not expecting this ending of this episode of the podcast, much like how I wasn't expecting this crossover to ever occur, and that I'd actually like it. We'd actually like it.
That's a good connection. Yeah. Bring it right home.
So like I said though, did you have any additional thoughts on Scoobynatural, or was that it, the Sam X Velma thing?
I think that's about it. I just wanted to see what I would get,
okay.
And I think I got more than I bargained for.
I say so too. So yeah, overall it's pretty good. Go watch it if you haven't. Through your
you can watch it for the free.
You could, or legitimately as well.
No, I mean you can watch it on the CW website for the free.
Yeah, they'd have that thing.
I'm not advertising illegals, use of illegal activity.
I mean, I was going to, but if you're not, then
that's fair. I mean,
yeah. Watch it however you want to watch it, and we'll leave it at that. So, I feel like on a little Scooby-Doo vibe though. So you know what? Next time we are going to do that commentary on Zombie Island.
That guarantees we won't do it, but let's do that.
Right. And this time we'll see you all in 6 months, because it's not Halloween yet. We gotta wait until Halloween until it comes out.
We gotta wait till Halloween. Can't do it before then. That'd be inappropriate.
All right. So thank you all for watching. See you on the next episode of the Everything But Music podcast. And until then, you look up more Sam X Velma things.
Oh baby. Just imagine with oh baby.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.